Don't click away if you're a language beginner and you want to study a new language right now. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything I tried during my challenge of studying German for 90 days non-stop. The tips will not only be applicable
It's applicable
for studying German, but any language that you would like to study. And for those who don't know me, my name is Evan. I love languages. Currently, I'm acquiring Spanish, Russian, and German. I love languages now, but not in the past. I used to spend 8 years of my childhood in a proper language school using a textbook-based method to study language. A lot of memorization. I hated it, and I decided to call it a day. However, in my university, I wanted to pick up this hobby again. I used a year of my own free time to pass an exam that I couldn't pass in 8-year time of my Japanese lessons. Right now, my passion is to spread the culture of learning a new language to people on YouTube. I hope my tips will help you and you will find it useful. If so, please give me a like and a subscribe. The following tips will include how to start and where to start, the problems you will face, what is misleading and what not to do, and how to keep yourself motivated. I'm also going to share with you my performance after 90 days of studying German. Guten Tag, das ist meine Selbstvorstellung, aber zuerst das Wetter ist sehr schön heute. Es ist sonnig, kein Regen, aber ich mag den Sommer in Hongkong nicht, weil es ist so heiß. Okay, mein Name ist Evan, ich komme aus Hongkong, ich bin 32 Jahre alt und ich liebe es, Sprachen zu lernen. Ich kann natürlich ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. So for 90 days, I tried using different methods to study. Here are my top 3 recommendations. The first is listening to podcasts. It is the fastest way for you to consume various content at once. The tones, different words that they use, the formality of the words, different ways to use those words, and etc. One podcast a day would be totally enough for any language beginners. Easy German, this channel, best YouTube content for any German learners. For that one podcast a day, you not only have to listen, you find words that you think is useful, you jot them down in a notebook and revisit them time to time. The second one is Nico's Web. It's a German exclusive online-based teaching material. The video quality and editing is top-notch and the questions are very well written and thought out. The only disadvantage that I would say is that they do focus on teaching you gender nouns and they also rate your exercises by marks. And if you're a perfectionist, you might want to go for 100 marks every chapter, which I truly don't recommend because you don't have time. And consuming in more content is way better in terms of language learning than getting everything perfect. Third are any type of TPRS videos for German beginner. A few channels that I recommend. TPR is a very good method for language learners focusing on natural input. For beginners, I think this is a great method for you guys to study. Now, let's revisit how the whole process formed in my head. So I said I wanted to learn German exactly 3 months ago in this room. And you might be thinking,
isn't that a bit too hot-headed that you even have a plan? Like, where's all the planning and stuff? How do you just start like this? Does that mean you have to dedicate like 2 hours per day to study this language? Isn't this gonna take you a lot of time to do it? How many minutes do you need to study every day? Do you have your German textbooks ready? Which YouTube channel should you start watching? How should I even do it?
Stop. You're just scared to commit and make this into an empty promise. If you have the time to think about how you should start learning, you might as well just start learning immediately. One of my favorite quotes is, the best timing to plant a tree is 10 years ago and now. And you can think about all the resources you need during the journey when you're discovering this new language. Because the truth is, most of you doesn't know what is required and what is sufficient in a new language. And the sad reality for most people is that planning in your head is just a stage of procrastination for you to not study this language. So the answer is simple. Start right now. Learning a new language is like walking into a forest full of mist. You never know what's going to happen. But the good thing is, there's a lot of people that had already finished walking this forest. What you have to do is to open up yourself, accept that there will be a lot of challenges and difficulty during this new journey, but eventually you get out of it. However, learning a new language isn't like a French cuisine. You don't have to wait for the right timing, the right environment, the right people to push you or to make you start learning. You should be the one dictating your own tempo, and you should be the one that's only responsible for yourself. If you're truly dedicated in this language, if you truly believe in the power of a new language that can change your life in the future, of course, you should start as soon as possible. Why wait? Why hesitate? And for how to start, there's not a clear way now since there are so many tools that we can help ourselves, but I do see a problem in not starting, then starting so-called in a wrong path. Because if you never start, you'll never know if the path is right or wrong for you. I spent 8 years studying Japanese, realizing the traditional learning method isn't suitable for me. So right now, I found my own path, which is using more comprehensible input methods to study a new language. But Evan, surely I'm going to face a lot of problems if I just start now, since I'm nowhere near prepared. Yes, I do agree. That's why we're going to address all the major concerns to reduce your stress and anxiety in studying a new language. I have to let you know that you're not alone. The biggest fear for me and for other self-learners out there are our uncertainty in seeing our language path progressing towards the ending. What does that mean? We're afraid of not being capable to navigate a clear path that promises us to reach our final destination, of being able to communicate with others just by studying ourselves. Usually in this part, other language YouTubers would recommend platforms for you to study a new language, which I'm not against. However, there must be some of us who just don't feel like having others involving in our schedule yet. What if we just want to try out free online resources first? My suggestion is the following. Every language is different, but people with different background and culture act more or less the same. We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to make purchases, we have to do sports, we have to relax. All words are equal, but some words are more equal than others. In traditional textbooks, we are systemized to do chapters for languages, no matter if those words are meaningful to you or not. If you like riding a bike, ich liebe Fahrradfahren, you might have to wait until chapter 8 to study this word. The best thing about doing it yourself is the flexibility to learn topics solely based on what is important to you. Are you a chef? Do you know what a potato is in your target language? Are you a pilot? Do you know how to say, I drive planes or I eat microphones, For me, I love football. So I would go and search on this field and learn phrases like, Was ist deine Lieblingsmannschaft? So in my eyes, the uncertainty is a trap that textbooks has implemented for us since we're young. It seems that if we just follow the rules and study what's in front of us, that will eventually work out. I did 8 years of Japanese learning in a classroom just to come to the realization that was wrong for me. This first problem should be solved by understanding that no clear path is a myth. The path is your opportunity to use the time and study what is most important to you. You know you best. Another problem, besides the uncertainty of figuring out how to help yourself, is time management. What if I have a 9-to-5 job? What if I have kids to handle? What if I have a lot of other important issues on deck? I'm sure that if you have time to watch this video until this part, you sure want to change and commit to a new journey in life. Therefore, my question to you is, where are you putting language learning in your priority list? If there's so many important things that makes your schedule packed, it will be hard anyways. Nevertheless, the reason that the app Duolingo was popular is definitely because of how little effort they were promoting in terms of learning a new language can be. If you set an alarm during lunchtime to study 15 minutes every day, that would also work. Or maybe 10 minutes of language input replacing endless scrolling through Instagram. What I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, it is your time and you can swap out unnecessary entertainment in order to achieve your personal growth. Studying grammar. If you spend time on studying grammar in the beginning, you're certainly on another track of struggle, pain, and headache. It's okay to make grammatical mistakes. You don't have to study like there's some unbreakable physics law. Instead, focus on imitating the native speakers. If they say ich bin, say ich bin. If they say du bist, say du bist. You don't have to know the forms and how they change in the past perfect tense when you're even struggling saying ich möchte ein Currywurst bitte. What about Russian? Let's say if there are 6 cases in Russian. Of course you have to know them, right? Yes, but not when you're a beginner. You should study in the future. For now, you should focus on getting your message across rather than pretending to be perfect in cases when you don't even have enough nouns and verbs to communicate. Ideas. Time is precious. There's opportunity cost in everything. The root of studying grammar leads to a bigger misleading issue, trying to ask for perfection as a beginner. Come on, you're a beginner. Why are we comparing ourselves to a guy who've studied 1,000 days when we just did 90? We come to the hardest part, consistency. Sometimes when you feel like you're just having an off day, using your brain to think and process a foreign language is just too much and it will give you headache. Of course it's okay to take a pause and give yourself a break. But what you can do if you don't want to lose your personal streak is to find something that is related to the language and the culture. For instance, I read about the top destinations in Germany, the best food, the best view, the best castles, and I imagine myself in those beautiful sceneries without the ability to communicate with people. Yes, of course they speak English. I speak English too. But that's not the whole purpose why I started learning German. What is your purpose? Because of a dream job? A career you really wanted to pursue in that new country? Your partner? A goal that was hanging at the back of your head for 10 years? If so, take a deep breath, look forward, and keep pushing yourself. Very thankful for the hot-headed Evan that decided to start this YouTube challenge a few months ago. A decision that completely changed his fortune for the next 3 months. During these 3 months, not only did I start my YouTube channel, I started to learn how to edit, how to take videos in a better way, how to use different special effects, how YouTube algorithm works, and also stepping out of my comfort zone and be brave. Just like now I'm walking on the street. It's good that there's not a lot of people, but I might do this later when there's a lot of people. If we were solely talking about basing on personal growth, I think it was a pretty unexpected turn of events. In Chinese, we have the saying of 漣漪, 涟漪, meaning the drop of water in the lotus pods expanding out like a little wave. In English, we call that the butterfly effect. And I hope that this effect would bring more good things to me and to all my audiences. See you guys in the next video. Bye!